going to be no altcoin season. It's never going to happen. It's only a Bitcoin only season. It's all about the ETFs, blah, 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 blah. Simply, probably not true. Again, we deal in a world of probabilities and no certainties, but probabilistically speaking, as the business cycle accelerates, people go further out the risk curve because they have more money. You're earning more money, your mortgage has gone down, you have higher savings, you can recycle them into assets. It happens at corporate level too, as corporate earnings go up and the overvaluation that people are scared about of the stock market, well, that all becomes noise as well because earnings expand. And then those earnings get recycled into investments and the market goes higher. So altcoins should outperform in the next phase once we get out of this corrective phase.
As the market cools down, Bitcoin could be on the brink of a recovery, and if that happens, altcoins may experience even greater gains. That's the latest forecast from veteran macro analyst and Real Vision CEO Raul Pal. The current ISM data, which measures economic activity, indicates an upward trend. An increasing ISM is typically bullish for Bitcoin, although some volatility may remain until interest rates decrease. However, Pal highlights that forward-looking indicators are improving, making a higher Bitcoin price within the next 3 months increasingly likely. Altcoins are also expected to benefit as market conditions shift. Despite claims that an altcoin season is unlikely, historical trends suggest otherwise. When the ISM crosses 50, risk appetite tends to rise, driving capital into alternative assets. As earnings and liquidity expand, investors look for higher returns, making altcoins an attractive choice. While Bitcoin will remain the primary focus due to ETF developments, altcoins are expected to perform better once the current corrective phase stabilizes. Stick around until the end of the video as Raoul Pal shares more insightful predictions about the crypto market.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
Let's look at these corrective phases. If you guys have got this far and followed me, we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 20% plus pullbacks. And you can't remember those. You might remember the last summer one because that was pretty miserable. But that's it. We deal with this. The volatility is a feature, not a bug. You need the volatility to drive these massive rips when they come. So that's where we are. We've seen this. We should be somewhere close to bottoming. Now, with those 7 pullbacks, we've still had 600% returns from the low. Again, you've forgotten about those because you're like, oh my God, it got to 110 and now it's at 80. It's like, it's all fucking noise, kids. Really, honestly. When we go back to 2017, it was more violent because Bitcoin was earlier in its adoption phase and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 30% plus pullbacks, some of them at 40%. So this is more like Solana now, which is more volatile because it's earlier in the cycle. It's more like Ethereum. It's more like others. So this gives you the contextualization of what you're going to have to stomach to make the money. To unfuck your future, you're going to have to learn to deal with volatility. And if you've got any spare income and you can invest, you can buy some of these dips, but be careful later in the cycle. You don't want to overextend when you should be thinking about how do I take money off. But we're far too early for that yet. I talked about we could take lifestyle chips off sometime in the first quarter. Looks like it's pushed out to the second quarter. I'll keep you updated when that happens. But again, I'm very chill about this. When you zoom out, Bitcoin is just retesting where it broke out from. That's it, guys. It's hardly a big deal. When we look at the RSI of Bitcoin, it's like the second most oversold it's been in this entire cycle. These are opportunities. When it gets this oversold, yes, it can chop around a bit at those lows, might even make a new low, might chop, rally, new low, which will then diverge on the RSI. But it's telling you 1 month from now, prices will start climbing for sure. They'll be higher than here. And then 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, we should have much higher prices. So once we've got the corrections out of the way, you start to look forward to, okay, now I can get some real price action going again. So that's to come. When we look at Solana, everyone's like, oh my God, Solana, look at the price. It's just gone back into the range. So we had the kind of the meme mania peak. Then we've taken off the memes. Solana got the most oversold it's been, I think, pretty much since the FTX days. It's oversold versus global M2. It should be fine going forwards. It's a very clean market. There will be plenty of on-chain activity in Solana as we go forwards. It's a broad, deep, rich ecosystem. So nothing to worry about. And I think many of the memes, or a few of the memes, will be Phoenix that rise from the ashes. We will see some great recoveries in some of that stuff too. But remember, that's only for 10% of our portfolio. The risky stuff is 10%. Solana is a core position for most people, and that's a good one. The core positions that I talk about for most people will vary depending on your case. But, I've always used Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, and I use Sui as a higher beta bet because I think that's going to do well this cycle. Again, you may choose different names. You may have XRP, you may have something else. That's fine. You do you, I'll do me. Let's just wish each other the best because that's all we want to do. We want everybody to do well out of this. If this is going to go from $3 trillion as a market cap to $100 trillion, we want everybody to make as much money as possible, and we can fuck it to the banking system and everybody else. We deserve this. This is our system. It's made for us, and it's ours to capture. Help each other out is the key thing, and not fight with each other. Fear and greed. Everyone's fearful as shit right now. It collapsed down to 20, so super fearful. Again, these tend to be good inflection points to start thinking about absorbing. We're seeing exactly the same in equities, funnily enough. The NASDAQ, we've suddenly gone to this massive bearish sentiment. 80% of all surveys are bears. Those tend to lead to almost V-shaped recoveries. So now, can we have another, one or two sharp sell-offs around these levels? Possibly. But basically, it's telling us everyone's got way too bearish, worrying about global growth. They're not seeing that was something that happened last year, and the forward-looking indicators are doing the opposite. So, your Tesla stock, your Coinbase stock, all of these things that you own, they should be fine going forwards. We've just had a growth scare driven by the dollar and driven by financial conditions. That has passed. The dollar is weakening and rates are coming lower.
Bitcoin has endured several 20% pullbacks in the past, and each time, these cycles have ultimately led to significant gains. Volatility is the driving force behind explosive price movements, and when momentum shifts, Bitcoin tends to see strong recoveries. Historical patterns suggest that Bitcoin is approaching a bottom, with forward-looking indicators signaling higher prices in the coming month. Altcoins, including Solana, are also in a similar situation. While recent pullbacks sparked panic, the broader market remains steady. Solana, in particular, has bounced back to key levels, demonstrating resilience even after sharp sell-off. As market conditions improve, renewed on-chain activity is expected to fuel further gains. Despite the extreme fear gripping investor sentiment, history shows that these moments often present some of the best opportunities. As liquidity improves and economic indicators stabilize, risk assets are likely to recover. The market is on track for growth, and those able to endure the volatility are well positioned to benefit. Now, let's dive back into more exciting insights from Raul Pal.
So when I put my DMARC indicators on top, which are my favored technical analysis indicators, we're at day 6 of a 9 count. So it tells us probably in the next 3 days, this will all be done. Is the low in already? I think it probably is. But could we kind of bounce, have another stab at the low, whatever? Day 9, that would be fine. For the NASDAQ, because it's not open on weekends, it looks like it's kind of Wednesday that it does it. Almost everything has the same set of indicators right now. So it's because it's all driven by the same thing. So it tells us that all of this stuff that's making everyone nervous should be over by the by the middle of next week. And then we can go to the healing phase. And then again, we can start rising. The healing phase, who knows? Could be 2 weeks, could be a month. But the back end of March, we should start to see prices accelerate. And then April, May, June, we should see some really significant price action as the second phase of the banana zone kicks in. These phases of the banana zone, I get so fed up with people online going, where's my banana? Your banana fell over. Your banana's not ripe. Your banana, blah, blah. The banana zone is a period of time that lasts a year. It is not an instant gratification. You guys need patience more than anything else and need to understand markets. So we had the start of the banana zone. We are now in correction phase 1. That happens each and every time. Look at 2017. It's almost identical. Then, as we go into March, April, May, we start accelerating up again into the next phase of the banana zone. And then we'll have another correction. And you'll be going, oh my God, it's all over. It's all over. Am I going to die? Have we screwed this up? Where's your banana? Again, you'll have forgotten everything that went before it, and you'll be gripped with fear all over again. Then we have the final top into the end of the cycle. My view is that the business cycle is taking a long time below 50. It's starting to expand now. That has probably extended the cycle into 2026. Not a guarantee, not yet a prediction, but is what is in my head because of the structure of the business cycle. So we can probably keep going longer, and that will still give us much higher prices to come. So the game is all to play for. It is a game of don't fuck this up. It is a game of understanding the rules, understanding to have patience, and stepping back, zooming out, touching grass, touching sand, and let it play out. All of our futures are resting on the same thing. But again, over time, you'll see that this kind of volatility is normal in a token at this stage, and you should be fine with all of that. So if you can, you buy the dip. And let me show you why and how. So I'm going to run through some charts for you that Julian and I put together specifically for you. These are from Global Macro Investor, which is my preeminent research service. Firstly, the chart that everybody knows about. This is the chart Julian and I came up with, Global M2 in dollars with a 10-week lead over Bitcoin. Now, we were not sure whether it was going to follow this exactly because we had an identical setup in Global M2 in 2017 in the last Trump cycle. And what happened is crypto collapsed 35% in a week and then slowly recovered with chop. I wasn't sure whether we were going to have the full sell-off to follow this pattern or we were going to go sideways over the period. We eventually went sideways first and then had the sell-off. Either way, it's on track exactly as Global M2. What it's saying to you is that financial conditions that tightened last year due to the dollar rallying in anticipation of Trump and also rates going up in anticipation of tariffs, well, that is what's playing through now. Now, if you look at the chart going forward, that reverses. Yes, there's going to be a period of chop. We're going to be finding the lows around here, and I'll come more on that in a sec. Then there's a period of chop, and then we start coming back up the other side. So it's nothing to concern yourselves with. Volatility is part of the game. Without the volatility on the downside, you don't get the 150% returns or more on the upside. So anyway, calm down, have patience, let this play out. Solana, I know many of you are in Solana, and Solana got nuked because of the collapse of the meme coin economy. Now, I think Solana, as you know, is a very broad, deep protocol. There is a lot of activity that goes on. There will be other activity that replaces memes. Some memes will come back to life. It is not what people are saying. It's a scam coin. It's a dead coin. It's all fucking nonsense. But Solana has overshot versus Global M2. And that is this last leg of the cycle. So Solana is looking very cheap. And I'll show you a bit more on that in a sec. So that's interesting. Again, you should be thinking about the dips. Solana should outperform Bitcoin for the rest of this cycle and Ethereum too, with Sui outperforming Solana. Those are my bets. Now, I don't want to hear from you saying, yeah, but what about this token and that token and my token's better than your token? This is not a fucking player versus player world. It is a player versus everything. We all want everybody to succeed here. Follow the don't fuck this up thesis. Don't have all of your stuff in small altcoins. Have about 80 or 90% in the main tokens and you'll be fine. But again, this is not a player versus player. We're not trying to outcompete with each other. We're all trying to win here. And that's very important to me. Okay, so financial conditions are kind of the big daddy of all of this. And the 3-month and 3-month rate of change of Bitcoin is driven by financial conditions, which leads by 3 months. So financial conditions obviously tightened because of the dollar and rates back in last year. Now Bitcoin has fully priced that in. So we're at the price point that is right. Now, could it then chop around along the bottom until it starts mirroring the rally in financial conditions? Possibly. This is also obviously very similar to the global M2 chart because they're all highly correlated. I just want to show it to you in a different way.
Bitcoin's price action is following a familiar cycle, with technical indicators suggesting that the current downturn is nearing its end. According to Pal, these indicators point to the phase concluding in the next few days, setting the stage for a recovery by late March. As price acceleration resumes, a stronger rally is expected through April, May, and June. This pattern mirrors previous bull cycles, where corrective phases were necessary before significant gains could follow. The current market cycle seems to be extending into 2026, offering more room for sustained growth. Patience is key as these phases take time, but the overall trend remains positive. Higher prices are on the horizon, and those who understand the market's rhythm will be in the best position to reap substantial benefit. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.